Falcon fans, and of course, good old Falcon fans. You already know what it is. You already know what to do. One time for the fan. Back talking Falcons football. Late night podcast. Episode 242. Apple Podcast, Spotify Podcast, Amazon Podcast, so much more. Sorry if we woke you guys up with this podcast here, or if you're getting ready for bed. Welcome to One Time for the Fan. Um, T Will's here with us. Carrie is here with us too as well. Big shout out to Bodie,
Hey,
who's
What's
probably
up?
watching or listening wherever he is, but don't want to wake up the kids if everybody's sleeping in the house, everybody. So we're going to use our inside voice tonight, or what's left of my voice from yesterday's game too as well, with Terry, also Carrie, in the Benz representing the Falcons fan base so well. T Will, Carrie, how are y'all doing at 11:30 this evening?
I'll let Carrie go first.
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we hear you well, Carrie.
Yeah, I feel a little better today. It's a new day, renewed hope. Yesterday was rough though. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I I don't know. We're positive over here, so it's on to Philly, and we're gonna get that win, Philly Monday Night Football. But man, yesterday, I don't know. I just went into yesterday with so much hope, and it just got crushed yesterday. So
Guess feeling the same way you are, kind of in a way, Carrie,
yeah,
because we talked so much about what the Falcons could do this offseason, and this game will, quickly set the mark at the beginning of the season to let other teams know that we're about that action, standing on business. And T Will, that just wasn't the case. How you doing over there, T Will? How's
uh,
lounge life treating you, by the way?
Lounge lounge life was great, man. I have no complaints about that. Honestly, I'm like Carrie. I'm a little better today. I got a chance to review the tape a little bit, and it looked like on Kurt's interception, specifically the last one, that pocket closed on him.
Oh,
So,
oh, you went straight to Falcons football. I was just asking you how your day is going.
and and we,
That's
we
that's
is
had,
that
all.
how disappointed?
That's
Is that how
that's all
disappointed
that's
we
on
are?
people's mind. I mean,
hey, we talk about the Falcons, right? Hey, let's get to it. No, my day's going well, man. Had a
Gosh,
good
what a
time
way
with
to
the game.
start the podcast. T. Will, how you doing? Everything's going well. That Kirk Cousins interception. I
Hey,
reviewed the tape.
yeah, we had to get to it, Jack. We gotta get we. I guess for me, I needed to understand the process. When you're watching it live, there are just certain things that you miss, right? So yeah, I was anxious to get to it and see because I love my Falcons. I wanted to see what was going on. And what was apparent to me was that, in the second half, that defensive pressure was they just he didn't have any time. Now,
Mhm.
I'm not going to say he should have thrown the ball. This is it. You got to score. Maybe he should have thrown it away, or maybe just deaded it at someone's feet. But on that last interception,
Shit, that's tough. Just throw the ball on the ground, Terry.
oh man,
better than getting it picked off. I mean,
Damn. I
um,
mean, I did
throw it
see a
away.
stat that this was the I guess the least amount of times that Kirk Cousins has ever thrown in the second half in his whole career,
Yeah,
apparently. So, I mean, not the stat that we wanted to see from this week one. But Terry, you're definitely on point with it. I mean, throwing it into quadruple coverage. Hell, even I was out there covering a couple times, but it was kind of wild to see that Kurt made that type of throw, and this is week one, man, and fans are like, wait a minute, if you're thrown into triple coverage in week one, bro, we got the Eagles next week, we got the Chiefs the week after. Terry,
yeah.
there's some fans that's now going back to draft day.
Mm,
They're now going back to when Kirk Cousins first got in the building and the
hmm
contract was put out, $100 million, all that stuff. People are going back, Terry, and they're saying, put Penix in the game. Why are we watching this? Terry, your thoughts about that? And we want to go around the chat here in the channel that people are calling for Kirk already to hit the bench here in Atlanta.
I think that's an overreaction. I think something that you see with people who experience trauma is they go back to what's familiar. And while it may be a little exaggeration, it may even be a little on the nose with what we've gone through from 2016 going forward the last 3 years, I would classify it as trauma.
Hmm.
So, when you're into something, because what they're thinking is, oh, these are the same old Falcons. And then your brain searches for, what can we do? I know, put Penix in, right? Or why did we spend $100 million on this guy? Or we should have gotten Russell Wilson.
That's
Or
pretty much what I heard leaving the Benz. Everybody kept saying $100 million. What they
right.
kept
But what they don't understand is Kirk's making 40 million per year.
saying.
The
Hmm.
average for the top quarterbacks right now is 55. So 40 million is actually a bargain if you can believe that. Okay. So let's get that out of the way, right? Falcon fans love you, but 40 million is not top dollar for a quarter. Hey, get used to it, man. Gas is three something a gallon. You'll never see a
Shit.
you'll never see $1 a gallon. That was back when T Will still had hair. My beard was black. My game was strong, and I could fill up my tank for $10. We're not in those days anymore, people. Move on. Okay. Look, the contract is the contract. 40 million is fair. It's not cheap, it's fair. The going rate, if you look at Deshaun, there are three other quarterbacks, they got 55 million. So let's throw
Hmm.
that. What was that? Was that Kirk being rusty? Was that the offense being rusty? Because again, they didn't play for the first three games, and we said that we could see that. Was it that Kirk is maybe still hurting a little bit? Because what I saw is they didn't really run that many plays under center, right?
Hmm.
We kind of took out the play action. So why did we do that? Did we do that because we felt like against this defense you weren't going to get the chance? I don't know. Okay. What I do know is it's game one. What we can say is the offense was definitely a little rusty. And what we can say is the game plan that we had didn't work for the second half. Look, the first half, you got 10 points, they got nine. If you score three field goals, right, in the second half, we win that game. If
You're
we
also looking at the Falcons having 3 turnovers on the day too, as well.
There you go. That
Um,
was my next
Cousin
thing.
with the 2 interceptions and the low snap fumble. I believe that was with Dahlman and Kirk too, as well, where fans were uh, once
Well,
again going to Drew Dahlman. Go
I
ahead,
looked
Kerry.
at that again. I looked at that again. That was not a low snap. We were running a guy in motion,
Hmm.
and at the same time as he got under center, the ball was snapped.
Hmm.
So it looked like a timing issue more so than a look. You get what I'm saying? Because whoever we were running
Hmm.
in motion, the ball hit him. And obviously he's not looking because he's running in motion, right?
Hmm.
I don't know if it was timing, but the bottom line is we were not as crisp as we should have been. For the first half, I don't have an issue with the offensive plays that we ran because we were ahead, right?
Hmm.
Up 10-9. We didn't score anything in the second
You
half.
put you put Kirk Cousins in the pistol, which is a formation that he's not really that used to,
There you
too, as
go.
well. But then some fans question his health too, as well, on a lot of plays. I think the dime that he threw to, I'm sorry, the dot that he threw to Kyle Pitts in the end zone was a beautiful one.
It was.
That actually had fans super excited in the Bennett because he's got Kyle Pitts on the board early. A lot of fans called for Kyle Pitts scoring the first touchdown here for Atlanta. Gary, your thoughts on just fans yelling for Kirk to be benched? I mean, you spent some time on social media today when you had a chance, and I mean, you saw some of the things that Falcons fans had to say. So, Kerry, just your quick reaction to the 18-10 Falcons loss to the Steelers yesterday and losing to the team that didn't even score a touchdown on this. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, that part is what's tough for me. How do you lose to a team that doesn't score a single touchdown?
Yeah.
That's
And they
tough,
got then
you
have to
know?
go play a team on the road on Monday Night Football for the world to see. They just put up, what, 30 something points against the Packers in Brazil?
Yeah, I'm really nervous about that. That's a very hostile environment,
Oh,
Philly.
thank you, Kerry. Don't be too nervous. I'm just gonna
I
be there
mean,
on
you're
Saturday,
going
but
there. I'm nervous for you. So it's a hostile environment, honestly. And look what they did, like you said, in Brazil at a neutral ground. So, yeah, it's tough. We only put up 10 points. You got to do better. I don't blame the defense. They held them to literally field goals only. They're not perfect, but they did their job, in my opinion. And offense didn't do their part. And to me, what we have 3 turnovers, I think it was, on offense. So
Mm-hmm.
you're not going to win a game if you don't win in the turnover battle. That's what the tale, they always say. So I just feel like, I don't know, that TJ Watt was having his way with McGarry. I
Was it a
mean, that
94.5
my
PFF
highest
grade he
graded
had yesterday?
yep, highest graded defender for week 1. So
Mm-hmm.
that sucks. I
Which
mean,
is one of
he's
the
a
best defenders in the league too, as well. We talked
yeah.
about having to get a couple bodies on him a few times, and sure enough, that didn't work. I mean, TJ Watt is just everywhere, and we have a guy on our team that's not a TJ Watt type status, but Matthew Judon has had his breakout moments too as well. And yesterday, you saw the defense was swarming. Right, there were plays where even in the second half, Terry, that we thought that we can have the comeback ready to go. In the fourth quarter, I'm looking at the score like, well, to give you back the ball 2 or 3 times, you guys should be able to score at least once. Even in the 5-minute mark, I was like, okay, we get the ball back right here. We get a chance to score. We're going to win the game. But sure enough, no. Turnover, the interception. I remember hearing the interception, Terry. The fans that went crazy during the interception, Terry.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're like, no way Kirk Cousins just threw that ball into triple coverage. And here, one time for the fan. Carrie, you back? You good?
Yeah, sorry. Can you hear me? I got kicked out.
It's
Yeah, I
okay.
can hear you.
We can
You
hear
But
want to add your
yeah,
picture, or you want to? You
it's
good?
okay. I'll leave it for now. That's
All right,
cool.
perfect.
Just so I don't actually get
People
kicked
gonna
out
be
again.
like,
But
who's the
I
who's
know.
the default character you guys talking to up there? Oh my
Sorry.
God, who's
Okay.
the avatar? No, but Carrie, how you did you see JJ Ayers' comment on the screen? His heart is broken. He thought he
I
was going to be a good
know.
team this season. Carrie,
No,
are you
there's
basing
still
that off of
hope.
week 1?
No. So for
Mm-hmm.
me though, I mean, I still believe we can go 12-5 like I predicted. I did have us winning the Steelers game because I was in attendance and this is my first ever time seeing the Falcons lose in person, which sucked, but I did have us winning, losing, losing, winning. So now we gotta, continue to find a way to beat Philly or beat the Chiefs or do both because for me, I just think there's no way in hell we can go 0-3. I'm sorry. It's just that's gonna be so bad for the morale of the fans. I mean, they're already, like you said, calling for Penix, which for me, I just don't see what that solves because look at Caleb McGarry, Penix's blind side, he's a lefty quarterback, right? So, do you guys really trust Caleb McGarry to protect him? I mean, and he has an injury history from college as well. It's like this is supposed to be our quarterback of the future. We can't get him injured and get him killed out there. So Caleb McGarry, he's very good and run it. When we need to run the ball, he can protect you. But as far as pass protection, I'm sorry, you saw it yesterday. TJ Watt had
Mm-hmm.
his way. So I just feel like we're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place in this moment. Um, I was listening to Matt Ryan. I don't know if you guys got a chance to listen today, but he did an interview where they asked him about his thoughts on the Falcons offense and how, how what he thought about the look of the team and how what the performance that they gave. And he basically said that he thinks that it's more mental that, maybe Kirk is just still recovering from that injury mentally and this is first time out, since last season week 8. So maybe it's all mental. And that's what my hope is too, that it's just mental, that it's not actually that he's not fully healthy yet from that, Achilles injury and that he didn't need more time to recover from that. I hope it's mental and he'll be good to go week 2 so he can beat
Seeing
Philly.
Kirk also take a couple hits yesterday. We mentioned that this would be first. This would be Kirk's first game taking some hits since the Achilles injury because you know how they kept him during preseason. Did not play. Fans also mentioned that too as well. There was no reps between a lot of these starting unit guys and Kirk Cousins, but fans are not just giving up on the team just yet. There are a lot of fans that's looking at it as you have the Eagles on Monday night for the world to see, and you just got beat by a team that kicked field goals on you with
I
Arthur Smith and that
know.
mustache. So that's the disappointing part. Then
Don't
you
remind
also
me. Don't
then
remind
you
me.
also have the Chiefs on Sunday night. So now fans are starting to mention Kirk Cousins, primetime stats, right? and his performance when he's on Sunday Night Football and that type of thing. So there's a lot of fans that's looking ahead to the future saying, oh, we're going 0-3 right off the bat. But then there's a lot of fans that's saying, hey, look, it's just week one, right? Week two, anything can happen. Of course, you guys know it's any given Sunday with a lot of these teams. You saw some teams that were winning yesterday that blew the bag, right? I think Arizona had a nice, comfortable league on the Buffalo Bills. They blew the bag, right? I think the Tennessee Titans was doing a decent job on the Chicago Bears up until one point. They blew the bag, right? Where's the Jacksonville Jaguars fan? Is he in our chat? Because they blew the bag too.
He's
But
Oh,
there's a
hiding.
lot of teams
wow.
yesterday. There's a
Oh,
lot
we
of
are calling
teams,
folks
Terry.
out
There's a
today.
lot of teams that know that this is just week one, regardless if it's a win or a
Right.
loss. If you had this team going 12-5, you can still have this team going 12-5.
Yes.
Don't sit there and say, oh, we lost to the Steelers, the season is over. Now,
Right.
because you lost to a team that you were supposedly supposed to beat, you need to go beat a team that you're supposed to lose to, which could be the
Exactly.
Eagles, which could be the Chiefs. Some people are circling the Cowboys game as a loss this season. Well, go get that dub. You never know
Right.
what can happen, but I do know that I'm not giving up on this team. You know how positive we are here on One Time for the
Thank
Fan.
you.
Of course
And we're
not.
not going to keep you guys too late tonight because it's 11:40 something at night. But
Can I?
yesterday's reaction,
Sorry,
we couldn't go live at 8. But get scared. Go ahead.
I just want to add real quick, while we're on the subject of it, I just want to remind everybody as well that last season we started out 2-0, and look how
Mhm.
that ended. So it's not
Ended
how
up
you
going
start,
down
it's
to
how
the
you
halftime of the last game of the season where we thought Carolina was going to beat the Buccaneers. I mean, come on.
Jeez, I mean, how tough. So, I mean, it's how you finish, not how you start. Is that what they say? It's not how you start, that's how you finish. So,
Right.
yeah, like you just said, we got to win a game that we thought, possibly was going to be a loss. So we
Yeah.
just, and one more thing I would like to mention is that I did see Matthew Judon say today, quote, "You don't fold when you face adversity, you run into it. That's what we're going to do." And that made
hmm
me feel really good. I know we got some leaders on this team, so I really hope that they, you know, see that loss and take it, like a wow, we should have won. Just how we feel. We should have beat them. And let's go in Philly and kick their teeth in. That's what I'm hoping.
That's what I'm hoping too. Is I'm looking to my right, I'm looking to my left, I'm looking behind me,
Oh,
and all I hear is E-A-G. Oh, geez, this is pretty loud.
Oh, geez.
So Falcon fans, yes, your boy Jack Spade from One Time for the Fan has to travel to Philly 0-1, but we're gonna have a good time. I'm not gonna let the Philly fans get to me. I understand we just lost to a team that just kicked field goals on us. Hell, I even think Arthur Smith kicked the field goal, but I'm
yeah.
not gonna let this happen
Sheesh.
in Philadelphia, where fans are just gonna disrespect me. I told you about some of the away games I've been to where fans have been a little bit rude in different stadiums, and now I'm going to one of the most hostile environments in the NFL on Monday Night Football, where these guys just came back from Brazil with a big win over the Packers. Now, I do think defensively, it's not going to be a 30-point game for the Eagles. You can't let this get out of hand in Philadelphia because I'm not trying to leave the game in the third quarter. That's just not me. But Falcon fans, your boy Jack Spade's going to do the best he can to hold it down. T. Will, we got about 10 minutes here left on One Time for the Fan.
Mhm.
We're going to talk more Falcons football. We have another pop-up podcast tomorrow.
Mhm.
We have another show Wednesday, our Wednesday night One Time for the Fan show at 8 o'clock.
Yeah, we do.
It's possible that we might have a special guest here too as well this week.
Drum roll, please.
So, we're gonna our special guest Carrie was been chatting with our special guest, and Carrie, you saw our special guest yesterday. Who we're trying to get the full confirmation. It's a former player,
Yes.
so we're trying to get everything fully confirmed, so that way we can bring this player onto the chat here at One Time for the Fan, and you all can ask the questions to this player of how do you bounce back in a situation like this. Matter of fact, if you look at this team and this roster, Terry, agree or disagree. Anybody on this team perfect? Anybody on this team undefeated in their whole NFL playing career or a college career or a high school career? They've all taken losses before.
Right.
They know how to bounce back from this. Even Raheem,
Right.
right? So Terry, your thoughts on just everything as a whole? You saw some people saying this is like the overreaction day
Mm-hmm.
because it's supposed to be Victory Monday,
Mm-hmm.
but it's overreaction day for Falcon fans.
Yeah.
Terry, sum it up for Falcon fans. Give us a positive message so we can get through this podcast and get ready for tomorrow's show.
Well, shout out to my brother. I told you we wouldn't go 17-0. I'm just kidding, Eric. I'm just kidding. I'm just
He
kidding.
gonna
That
get on you too. Wait till Thanksgiving hit. You remember what you said on One Time for the Fan, didn't you? Nah, sit your ass over there and pass that clip.
That's gonna
You know,
be
Terry gonna be living the fancy life by then. He gonna be on the yacht, like, ha ha ha, Eric. I'm not even there for Thanksgiving. I'm on a yacht right now.
he's not gonna wait. I'll hear about this tomorrow. Anyway,
Terry,
no.
how many rooms does the guest house have? Does the guest house have?
Hey. No, but in all seriousness, guys, it's the first game, right? The offense looked bad, no doubt about it. I cannot lie about that. And speaking of the pass rush, we did get 2 sacks yesterday, so I
Yeah,
think that
big shout out to Grady Jarrett tacking up 1.5, and big shout out to Matthew Judon
right.
tacking up a half a sack too.
So look, it's the first game. I do think we were rusty. There are some questions, where the Falcons out coached or out executed or both.
Mhm.
If you look at the second half, we ran the ball a lot, but it seemed like they caught on to that. So what
Terry,
looked
some people would say both of them,
no, I would say both halves. Because again,
or
what
in
was it?
Atlanta they say both of them.
Both, both of them.
2 Fs, yeah.
You
That's
got to
Georgia talk, Carrie. We're from Atlanta down here.
yeah, we're from the A. But you got to ask yourself, what was the score in the first half? It was 10-9. So
Yeah.
whatever
We're
we did
still
in
in
the
it.
first half,
But you gave up a drive that put them in a position once again to kick a
gave
field
up
goal and be down by one.
gave up a deep
True.
pass, and
Mhm.
that's fine. But still, you hold somebody to 9 points it could have been a touchdown we gave up. We didn't, right? Our defense bowed their necks when they had to, and I'm okay with it because we're up by 1 point. The game's manageable. What they did that we did not do was they adjusted in the second half, and we didn't. And that's where I felt like, a move should have been made to say, okay, guys, this isn't working because there were a couple of 3-and-outs. Look, I don't know if we got to do a play action. I don't know what we have to do, but that's what we need to do. And then there were some places where guys didn't know where they were supposed to be. There's one place where Kurt has to tell Kyle, no, you're over here. So that may have been rust. That may have been unfamiliarity. But I don't think that's going to be a prevailing thing going forward. So I think this was a week 1 thing. I think, yes, we were rusty. I think we may have been out coached a little and out executed in the second half. And unfortunately, that happens. But you'd rather it happen game 1 than game 16. So what I'm going to say is relax.
Yeah.
Tranquilo, Falcon
Yeah.
fans.
I
Relax.
do I do I do
Let's see.
want to agree with you, Terry, there, and also with Zach Robinson. His first game as an OC. People are really going hard at Zach Robinson right now. There's still time to work on a lot of these things, to change up a lot of these things, to see what Kirk did right, what Kirk did wrong, and to fix and improve that. But then some fans are worrying about why Kirk wasn't under center. I think it was only one snap under center all game. Everything was from the pistol and the shotgun. A lot of plays they did not run out of the shotgun, only the pistol. People was
Right.
asking
That's
for more
very
play
weird.
action too as well.
That's
Questions,
weird.
questions, questions. I wish we had Zach Robinson here so that way he can answer them. But we can find out more this week as the Falcons prepare for a very big game in Philadelphia. And I myself, as a fan, prepare for a very big weekend in Philadelphia.
Yes.
Please, God, be with me this
Amen.
weekend.
Amen
Just
to
want
that.
to let you know, Falcon fans, that we are about to still be on the right path of success this season. Just because we lost in week 1 does not deter what's going to happen this year. People saying playoffs, people saying NFC champions, it can happen. You have to get through these first couple games. We talked about this, Falcon fans, all summer, how tough these first 4 games would be. And then we have the cupcake schedule, I guess, after the first 4 games. We're gonna probably have some trouble in Philly. Still can come away with a win. That Sunday night game against the Chiefs, that's gonna be a tough one. But the next 2 games for the Falcons are primetime games, followed by the Saints, and then another primetime game. So we're watching, Falcons. The world is watching. Yuri's in the chat. Big shout out to Yuri.
You're
Dre
at
the Boxer's in the
Yuri,
chat.
what's up?
Bankhead to Buckhead is in the chat.
Dre
Wallace
the-
Smith, good evening. He's in the chat too as well. I'm about to say good morning in a second. It's about to be 12 o'clock. He was great. Kron's in the chat too as well. Not putting full pressure on that foot is concerning. You have a lot of fans that's calling out a lot of different things from what they saw yesterday with the Falcons versus Steelers. Terry?
No, I mean, and that's the thing you don't know. Like again, I don't know if he's still hurt, and hey, it's not for me to know. I don't think that that's the type of thing that the Falcons want out there. What they tried to do yesterday didn't work. You have to ask it. Look, we're not doing our jobs if we don't ask the question, why not? Why so little plays under center? It's a fair question. I don't want to assume, right? Because one thing that people do when you go through something like this is they make all sorts of assumptions. We don't know why they did that. Now you can make your assumptions and that's fine, but we don't know why they did that. Is he still hurting a little bit? Could be. Didn't seem to be
The
in
rollout touchdown with Kyle didn't look like he was hurting at all. I mean, he definitely,
no, it
not
didn't.
as mobile as he was back in his 20s, but he's
Right,
still coming off of an Achilles in the first game where the Steelers were putting pressure on him. This wasn't like a game where he was just untouched at that point, where his
right,
jersey was clean at that point.
True.
I mean,
right,
he's taking some hits, but
right.
show the durability too as well. This man got up off that ground and got back to that huddle. I like to see that in a quarterback, right?
Yeah,
I like to see guys that don't fold under pressure in certain situations. Kurt did have some bad throws yesterday, I understand. 56 QBR rating too as well for the game. But
Mm.
that is not the Kurt that I think we'll be seeing this season.
I don't think
It's
so either.
just week one, Terry.
Right? No, I don't think so either. I think it's what you. I think if we play the Steelers in Week 10, this is a totally different game.
Yeah.
I
Which
think
you
it.
saw last year when the Detroit Lions beat the Kansas City Chiefs in week one.
Hmm.
Went ahead and what happened to the Chiefs?
Yeah,
Won the Super Bowl. But the Lions did make their stretch later on in that year by making it to the playoffs and even almost making it to the Super Bowl from beating the champs. Let's just say the Falcons go in there. Matter of fact, Falcons will go in there and beat the Eagles Monday night. And then they go home to the Chiefs. And what if they beat the Chiefs now Monday, next week Sunday? Then what do you say about the Falcons sitting at 2-1? Right?
I
Anything can happen, Falcons fans.
feel good
And I'm
about
all
it.
here for it. Terry?
I say I feel good about it. And again, it's not like the Falcons don't have a chance. Look, that defense plays.
Mm-hmm.
Defense travels, baby. Defense and a run game,
Mm-hmm.
man, that's a sexy combination.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
I have
you
to
know what
give
I
a shout out to the defense yesterday too, as well, holding them just to 18 points on just a couple field goals. I mean, you you lost the game, but
Mm.
there were some plays where the Steelers were driving. They could have put up way more points than that on a defense that we saw in the past couple years from the Falcons. But this
Yeah.
new defense, I think they actually did a pretty decent job, even though they lost the game. Terry?
Defense in a run game is the equivalent of a very good job with lots of overtime and great benefits in 2024. It plays. It travels. So let's look. It was a bad look yesterday in the second half. I'll give you that. But I'm not ready to abandon this team. I'm not ready to call in Penix. I'm not ready to say it was a bad decision to sign him. We knew he had a bad Achilles. We knew he was coming off of an Achilles injury coming in. But more importantly, and what I think is most important, is two factors. Number one, this was Zach Robinson's first game. Number two, the offense was clearly rusty, which happens in a season. It's easier to defend, right, than it is to play offense because offense has to be in sync.
Mm-hmm.
Defense has to react. Offense has to be in sync. And if you're not in sync, you're gonna have fumbles where the ball snapped a second early or a second late or what have you, right? You're gonna have interceptions where there's pressure and he throws it out. You're gonna have interceptions where the receiver doesn't run the full route. Which I mean, again, I got to go back and look at that one where in the first half, the one in the second half, that pocket was closing, and I can't take a sack here. I'm trying to make a play happen, and it didn't look like he could get a lot on the ball because they came so quickly. So, again, first game, I'm okay with it. Even if we go, and God forbid, but even if we go 0-3, all is not lost because your difficult games are on the front end. After you finish this first four, it's like okay, you're playing spades, and you get
Better be
bored.
careful mentioning that spades here in the channel. Remember what happened last time you mentioned spades?
Whatever,
I
man.
know, right?
Look. You're playing, you get four books, four books, four books, and then the rest of your hands. Let's say you're playing the 500, which most people don't, but let's say you do. The rest of your hands, you get eights, nines, sevens. You're gonna win, right? So bottom line is, all your difficult stuff is at the beginning of the season. You get through week four. Let's say you're 2-2, 1-3. You're okay. You have to make it up, but you're okay. The season is not over, is what I'm saying. And look, a football season is its own universe, meaning what happens there happens there. You're going to be a totally different team by the end of the season because at that point you'll know what works and what doesn't. You'll know who you are. You'll know your identity. You'll know what you can't, what you do well, and what you don't, and you will game plan accordingly.
You
This was
threw the tape of week 1 out the window too, as well. By that point,
maybe you do. Maybe it's good for them to see. Maybe it's good for them to see because we can learn from it and grow. Again, I didn't think we're going to win all 17 games, guys. So this would just have to come at the beginning. Okay, so it happened. Okay, we look bad. Let's go to the tape. Let's see if we can improve. And more importantly, I think we have the coaching staff to do that. I think
mm-hmm.
we have the experience to do that. I think we'll be okay. Those are my thoughts. Carrie, how you feeling about it?
I mean, I'm loving the positive vibes. Um, I'm all for it. Yeah, we got to go into Philly and we got to win. We got to be 1-1. Because then we got to take on the Super Bowl reigning champs back to
Oh, the
back at
back-to-back Super Bowl
home.
reigning champs.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
Taylor Swift's probably going to be in the house too as well.
oh geez. Well, I'm
This-
not a Swiftie personally, so it doesn't matter to me.
All the future tapes in the world that we played on Sunday didn't help us beating these Pittsburgh Steelers when we were expecting Russell
At
Wilson. But
all.
yeah, Carrie.
I had a whole playlist and everything for
Oh
nothing.
my gosh, I'm sure they would have cranked it up with at least a couple future tracks after that game.
Wow.
Jeez. But
Falcon fans.
no, I just yeah, like Matt Ryan said today when I listened to that interview, he said that the NFL schedulers did us no favors, by putting the tough opponents right in the beginning of the season. So he said kind of like what T-Will said that, they just got to get in sync and, week 1, new offense, new play caller, and just got to get, they didn't play in preseason together. So, yeah, it's their first time playing in a real game together. So they just got to shake off the rust and get it figured out before Monday Night Football. Because we don't want to get embarrassed in front of everybody. We can't put up 10 points in Philly and expect to win. I mean, to me, that's not gonna happen. So
Yeah, you playing a good
they got
defensive game. I mean, people might say anything can happen, but you can play your best defensive game on this Philly team right now. I don't know if you're going to hold them to less
right.
than 10 points.
How many points did they score in Brazil?
30, what,
Yeah,
34?
sheesh.
30. They scored a lot.
Yeah, so
But, again, I'm not afraid of anybody. Look, the schedule is what it is. The good thing about the schedule is it's at the so they didn't do us a favor, but they kind of did do us a favor because they put it all at the beginning. So after you get through, week 4, really week 3, everybody else is pretty much beatable. Let's look at it that way. Let's say you do go 0-3. What if you win the next 13? Then what? Right? If you do, the teams that you just face, you only have to face them once. The Steelers would be in the Super Bowl, the Eagles in the playoffs. So let's look at my brother. Look, spotlight his comment, Jack. Spotlight
what
his.
did he say? We're
Oh,
going 16-1. Thank you.
I love you, bro. I love you, bro.
I
Don't
love you.
ever think hey, I love you, bro. You are one of one, Eric Parker. But no, the point is, look, it's like grandma used to say, you can take your medicine now or you can take your medicine then. But either way, you're gonna take your medicine.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, you're gonna take your medicine. You're gonna do it, right? I don't know about you guys, but my grandmother would line us up at the begin when we were there in the summertime when we were going back or whatever. You had to take certain medicines. Ew. Oh, that's disgusting. What is that? It's not kale pectate. It's castor oil. Oh, oh,
Oh, castor oil?
oh.
You taking it back there?
Hey man, but look, you were gonna take it in the beginning, or you were gonna take it at the beginning when you got there, or you were gonna take it when you left. Either way, you were gonna take it. So we got our medicine up front. Let's get through it. Let's learn from it. Whether we win or not, let's learn the lessons we need to learn and apply them. And so we can still outrun the NFC South. We can still make the playoffs. Everything is in front of us. Everything is in front of us. Those are my thoughts.
I'm with
The good thing
Retro
about it is,
G.
Carrie,
Okay. I was gonna say I'm with Retro G with this comment about give Tyler Algier the ball more because he averaged 7 yards per carry
Yeah,
yesterday versus
yeah.
Bijan's 3.8, which Bijan I feel like was running the ball. Yeah, he had 18 carries versus Tyler's only 3. So
Yeah.
feed the hot hand, you know? So I mean, yeah, I think Tyler definitely needs to get more involved. Um, but that's the thought. I just saw that on the
I mean, you
screen
came
there.
away with 89 rushing yards as a team. So a Falcons team that is known to, I mean, be pretty decent rushing the ball.
Hmm.
Last season too, as well. You guys saw what Bijan did and Tyler was able to create. But still, it's week one, Falcon fans. I know everybody's in the chat live and lit. It's 12:07 here. I know it's 9 o'clock for those on the West Coast. Smitty's Sports Machine is here in the chat,
What's Smitty?
talking Falcons football. Big shout out to Anwar Hill in the chat too as well. Wallace Smith always checking with us in the chat. Dre the Boxer, Retro G. Kenneth Allen is also in the chat. Deke Ruffin checking in from the West Coast. Shout out to all the West Coast Falcon fans here in the chat. William Amy, Tough Slate,
What
checking
up?
in from Georgia, down south. Georgia boy William Amy is in the chat. He also says Zach Robinson needs to be on the field, not in the press box. Falcon fans,
Yeah.
this is a great pop-up podcast for you all because this is what we do here at One Time for the Fan. We want to make sure you guys are having a great time, enjoying the channel, enjoying the content. We're not going to hit you with 2 hours worth of upcoming events because we have 2 hours worth of upcoming events. But we're going to hit you with some shout outs and we'll go ahead and get up out of here. Tomorrow night, we'll be back for a pop-up podcast. Wednesday night at 8, you know where to find us, One Time for the Fan. And we hope to have the confirmation from our former Atlanta Falcons player who's going to
Let's
join us this week
go.
and talk some Falcons football. Carrie's excited because Carrie was able to see this player yesterday.
Oh,
I was also able to talk with Chef Matt, J Envy. J Envy mentioned something. Falcon fans, I know you guys are watching the Instagram page. I know you guys are excited about a lot of the footage and the behind the scenes access, the on the field access when the players are running out the tunnel. But some fans heard what Jay Envy said on the Instagram page and hit me up and said, did he just confirm New Orleans? We're going to get Jay Envy back on the channel because he mentioned New Orleans in the video.
He did. Yeah.
He said, I can't wait to go to these home games. Can't wait to go to a couple more games. And I'll see you guys in New Orleans. And I said, Jay, New Orleans? And that's when the video cut off. So if Jay Envy is coming to New Orleans, you know he's going to rock. He's going to be, man.
That's what's up.
He's going to rock out with the Rise Up Tour fan club, man. It's going down in a major way. So
I want to shout him out because he had the area lit. He was DJing in fifth quarter.
The fifth quarter with the
Everybody
franchise boys.
Yeah. It was a great time. So
well, Carrie, since you're already giving Jay Envy a shout out, why don't you go ahead before we end this show, give your shout outs, and then we'll go ahead and send it over to Terry. Then we'll wrap it up and get up out of here.
Yes, I want to shout out you, Jack, T. Will. I want to shout out all the Falcons fans, all the people I got to meet yesterday, some for the first time, which was awesome, to include Eric. That was really awesome to meet so many people. And I just want to shout out just the Falcons fans in general, not to be so reactionary. I know, like, that's what a lot of them like to do. But try to be positive and, you know, support your team. Don't just say same old Falcons, and don't say that we should go and sign Cam Newton because that's just crazy talk.
What?
I didn't even bring that up, you know, because you're talking about benching Kirk and Penix. I forgot to mention this, but all over Twitter today, people were telling me, you know, replying to my feeds and saying, yeah, we should bring Cam Newton on. Cam Newton in 2024? Like, that's crazy. I'll show you. I got screenshots. It's crazy.
Yeah. This is 2024 people, not 2013.
Yeah, like they were not kidding either. They were serious. Multiple, probably like 4 or 5 people told me, why not? Bring Cam. He'll be better than what we got.
Yeah.
I'm like, are you serious right now? So please don't do that. Come on. Just support your team.
Please don't post that, you know?
Yeah.
If you're thinking that, that's one thing. If you're posting it, looking for tweets or retweets and reposts, that's another thing. Big shout out to Uncle Steve's Lounge in the chat too as well. What's up, folks? I know it's weird, but I'm feeling good about Monday night. This loss may be the best wake-up call for us. Big shout out to Uncle Steve's Lounge. Got a chance to chat it up with him yesterday too as well. I'm surprised I wasn't kicked out the area where Uncle Steve was. He lives a fancy life.
Oh,
Carrie,
yes,
any more shout outs?
I want to shout out Eric Parker again because I just saw his comment signed Cam Newton. We don't need a mascot.
No, we don't.
I mean, seriously, they really said that with their chest. I was like, "You're kidding, right? Like, in 2024, you want Cam Newton as your Atlanta Falcons quarterback?" And this guy told me, "You must not wanna win." He
Wow.
said he's a hometown hero. I was like, "What?
Mm.
Okay."
We still waiting on that call too. Continue waiting.
Wow.
Right. But, yeah, shout out to everybody, and let's go beat Philly. 1-1.
Hey, big shout out to Carrie here, talking Falcons football with one time for the fan. You know, Falcon fans in the chat wants to know where we can find you on social media, Carrie, because you come in here, you talk Falcons football with us. You do a great job helping us produce the show too as well. Carrie, where can we find you on social media?
Yeah, I mostly talk Falcons football on Twitter. I'm very active over there, so I try to share, anything Falcons related on there. My handle's my name, so Carrie with a C, like the scary movie, unfortunately. And my middle name, Lynn, Lynn, Carrie Lynn, and then XOX. So yeah, you can follow me there.
Falcon fans, please follow Miss Carrie Baby from One Time for the Fan, because we all want to make sure that everybody's in this together when it comes to believing in this team and understanding that we can still get over that hump, we can still get over that mark, still make the playoffs. It's just week one, Falcon fans. Relax. You can see Carrie's social media right there on the screen, so please head over to X and every
Yeah.
other account that she has too as well. I'm sure you'll be able to find it Instagram or Facebook too as well. So Falcon fans, Miss Carrie giving her shout outs. T Will,
Yes, sir.
what shout outs do you have, sir?
Well, first and foremost, I want to shout out Carrie, who I met for the first time in person yesterday. And,
Yes,
except for the game, we had a lot of fun. You know what I
we
mean?
did.
It was great. We were in the club. We had some cupcakes and talking Falcons. And then after the game, we were watching the music or the performance or whatever. And we were just surprised at what took place. But really want to thank Carrie for coming in. Really had a great time visiting with you. You are an essential part of the team, the best productionist in the world as far as I'm concerned. And it was so much fun. And I cannot wait to see you again, Carrie, in Tampa when we come down
Yes,
there.
thank you,
Ours.
Tia.
So
Likewise.
that's right. We're gonna do it. So with that being said, guys, shout outs to the fans in this chat for being with us at 12:14 in the AM. Shout out to you guys.
Yes, thank you. Zach Spade, better than Cam.
Amen. 80
Hey, I
on the
got somebody else. I got somebody on my side. I know they're ready for that 80 on the round. Let me tell you
wow.
something. I don't
Wow.
want to come in here and crack no jokes about my QB1. But I
Oh
saw
wow.
them two picks yesterday and I said,
Oh
I ain't
wow.
never said nothing about no interception when I had my 80 on the run, did I?
Oh wow. That wasn't
Jeez.
I'm just gonna say it. That's what
that
I'm gonna
wasn't
say.
okay.
Oh,
Hey, big
wow.
shout out to Kirk Frost though, man. Hey, Terry, Kirk Frost. You said it. Kirk Frost.
There
There
we
it
go.
is. Terry's still a believer.
We got it. 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 There we go. All right. So shout out to the fans of the chat. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for everything that you do. Thank you for supporting us. We would not be here if you were not here. And again, one time for the fan, please like, share, and subscribe. Who else am I going to shout out? I definitely want to shout out God. To him from whom all blessings flow. Wouldn't be here without him. And I thank him every day. Shout out to the Falcon fans in general. Falcons at the fans at the stadium. You guys jumped up, you cheered
Vans
hard.
was lit yesterday. We're gonna talk about that
Yes.
tomorrow.
It was lit yesterday.
Mhm.
Oh man, it was
Mhm.
such a great environment.
Mhm.
Shame we couldn't have pulled out the victory, but enjoyed it anyway. Shout out to every Falcon fan that came out in support and all your Falcon
The ones
stars.
that flew into the game too as well.
That's right. That's right. So shout out to them. Shout out to Mr. Jack Spade and Mr. Eric Parker. God worked through them, but without them, I would not be here. And so I will shout them out for all the live long day. You can be, excuse me, I can be reached at For My ATL Sports 1 on YouTube. Please like, share, and subscribe. I do have about 3 shows running now. One of them is
Nice.
How About Those Braves, which is
Nice.
every Saturday. Maybe in the afternoon, maybe in the evening. I will, update you guys as the week goes through, but it's definitely going to be Saturday. There is ATL with TNL, Falcons Talk Show, and that's going to be Fridays, typically at 7:30. And then when Lisa's not available, it's how about those Falcons. So we got at same time. So we got those shows running. So hey, please go to For My ATL Sports One, like, share, and subscribe. And we're gonna try and bring the best content that we can. With that being said, Jack, those are all my shout outs. I'm gonna defer to you. And as long as you keep inviting me, I'll keep coming back. Go ahead, sir.
Hey man, big shout out to everybody in the chat. Big shout out to my family. Big shout out to my friends. Big shout out to Carrie. Big shout out to Terry, Bodie, and of course yesterday, seeing Carrie too as well, and Terry, and everybody's having a good time. And Carrie comes over and says, "Hey, I think we might be good for this week on the show that we talked about." And I turned to Carrie and I said, "Oh, that's great. Did you text him?" She's like, "Yeah, I talked to him." Oh, great, because he's standing right there behind you. Carrie was like,
Oh
"What?"
wow. Oh,
So it was
wow.
great to see that. Also, even after the game too, as well. I mean, you saw us out there chatting and in the hallway, and of course, the players are coming down the hallway, and you can just see it from the players that they're focused, right? So there's a lot of fans who may ask for autographs and pictures and certain things after the game. When they lose, might not be the best time,
Yeah.
right? When they win, I'm sure they love it, right? But you can see from certain players that even when they're with their family and they're with their people, their friends that came to the game, the win was on their mind from the moment they stepped in that building to the moment they walked off that field.
Yeah.
And even when that clock strikes zero, even I as a fan and for the players, they probably looked up like, how the hell did this happen?
Yeah.
How? So big shout out to the players for everything that they do too as well, the coaches and the fans. We're going to talk about it tomorrow, how packed the Benz was, how it was rocking from start to finish, even the fifth quarter too as well. Big shout out to Jay Envy for turning up the clubs. But big shout out to everybody here in the chat, man. It's 12:18 at night, and y'all are lit to talk about the Atlanta Falcons, regardless if we're on the West Coast, if you're here in the South, wherever you're checking in from. Big shout out to you all. We'll be back tomorrow night with another pop-up show on One Time for the Fan. Apple Podcast, Spotify Podcast, Amazon Podcast, so much more. And also, Chef Matt chopped it up with me yesterday, so we're getting ready to prepare the Chef's Corner show. I believe he might be with us on Breakfast with One Time for the Fan Friday. There's no show Sunday. I might go live. I'm probably you're gonna see a lot on the One Time for the Fan IG page in Philly. So make sure you guys are prepared for that. For fans heading to Philly, once again, for fans heading to Philly, I'll post the flyer for Saturday night tomorrow, and then we're trying to finalize everything for Sunday night to get some fans out there too as well. So be prepared for that. But yeah, One Time for the Fan. Big shout out to the Rise Up Tour fan club. Eric Parker, Mactown Dirty, Retro G, every single Falcon fan. If I haven't named you, I apologize, but it's too many to name. But trust me, the shout out goes to you. Content creators too as well. I know it's a disappointing time for most of us, but find ways on your channel to bring positivity to your chat because everybody's looking at it like week 1 is week 17. It's not. So relax, Falcon fans. Let's see what we do week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5, week 6. Until I sit here and say the Falcons are eliminated from playoff contention is when I can say I'm worried about next season and what we can get to. We're worried about the Eagles right now. That's the next focus. So Falcon fans, salute to you all. Falcon shirt, Falcon hat, Falcon mug, Falcon socks. Hold on. No. Going down the major way, man. See y'all tomorrow night for another
Good
pop-up
night,
podcast.
everyone.
Rise up, y'all.
All right, everybody. Rise up.
Bye.